Hi everyone, I wanted to make a video on mindful presence and triggers. Now, triggers are something, someone, a situation, event, a memory that might trigger a certain emotion. Today in this video, I want to talk about when anger is triggered. When the fire is triggered, when we are irritated, when we are angry, frustrated by something or someone. And how do we, access presence at that time? So first I want to say that when we are triggered, usually presence is not there. We lose our ability to be present. And that's normal, right, for everyone. No matter how much you practice, it is difficult to be present when we're triggered. So the key is not to be present straight away in a mindful way. The key is to see the intensity of that anger and to see it for what it is, that it is intense right now. I'm really frustrated, I'm really angry, I'm really triggered. And as soon as we know that and become aware of it, we can attend to that like burning fire inside of us. We can kind of walk away from our trigger and attend to ourselves first. And the way that we do it, we walk away, we actually take 3 deep breaths to reset ourselves. It's kind of like, when you've been so close to a fire, right? And it's so hot, what would you do? You would walk away from the heat first, right? Because it's so hot, and you would try to cool down. Now, the cooling down piece is done through the breath. We use the breath to cool ourselves down, to reset, to come back into some sort of balance, or regularity, like we're regulating our temperature, right? We're regulating that temperature. So we do that, as a practice, so that we can come back to presence, to mindful presence, to be able to come back to that place where you can internally sit with yourself and get curious and be non-judgmental about what's happening inside of you. But when the emotion is that heated, especially anger is a very it's a very hot emotion, and passion is too. That's probably the other side of the coin to anger. It's very hot. It's like you're in flames, so and some of it can be very helpful, but when it is like so triggered, it's not helpful in that moment. So we have to tend to ourselves, and then we can get curious about how to use that anger to maybe draw boundaries with others, maybe use that anger to fuel change within us, to say, okay, to get that resolve back, to be like, yes, I have to do something about this. Like, I do not want to suffer, right? Like I don't like it when I'm triggered. I don't like it when this emotion is so intense that I don't know what to do with it. And sometimes we feel shame, when we get triggered, we feel shame. And so we also have to attend to the shame piece as well, but that comes after we walk away. That comes after, that comes when we're doing the investigation piece inside, where the flames of the anger have been cooled down. You've walked away from your trigger, you've got a safe distance for your trigger, and then you can get curious about what's happening inside. And you might find a whole bunch of other emotions, right? Like you might find sadness, you might find fear, you might find shame, guilt, but you're able to be with it, in a curious way. So you're coming back to presence. So I hope that helps. That there's more to this, obviously, and there is actually a great acronym called RAIN, RAIN, and it was developed by Tara Brach, and it comes in handy when we're triggered. And so R is to recognize how we're feeling, or recognize what's happening in that moment, right? So you'll recognize, oh, there's anger, there's shame, there's sadness, whatever it is. A is to say, can I allow this to be here? Because as soon as we push it away, we're creating more layers of emotion and layers of suffering. So it's like, can I just give it permission to be here, this emotion? Because emotions aren't bad, you know, emotions are there, and they're actually very wise and very intelligent. But can I allow this to be here? Then I is the investigation part that I was talking about earlier. We're investigating with curiosity, with kindness, with warmth, with generosity, what's happening inside of us. And there's a few questions you can ask yourself when you're investigating. One of them is, what am I believing right now about this situation, about the person, right? Where do I feel this in my body? And what does this feeling need from me? So those are usually the three components of investigation, but we're doing it in a very gentle, kind way. And then N is a result of the RAI work that we did, and N is nurturing. It ends up being that we are nurturing ourselves when we're triggered. So RAIN is a brilliant acronym. If you want to find out more about that, I will put a link to Tara Brach's website and to the RAIN practice, so you can access it through this video. So I hope this is helpful. Have a lovely day.